Hello everyone. In last video, we started discussing Fourier series, and we defined that Fourier series may be defined as the representation of any signal over a certain interval of time in the form of linear combination of orthogonal functions. So continuing in that, there are different forms of representation of Fourier series depending upon the type of orthogonal functions. So there are mainly three forms of Fourier series representations. Number one, trigonometric form of Fourier series. Number two, cosine form of Fourier series. And three, exponential form of Fourier series. Now, if the orthogonal functions which we have used for representing the signal is trigonometric, means sine and cosine, then we say it is a trigonometric form of representation. And if it is only cos, there is no sine, then we say it is a cosine form of Fourier series. So some of the books also say that cosine is a part of trigonometric only, but some of consider it as a separate. And if the orthogonal function which we used for representation is exponential nature, then we say it is an exponential form of Fourier series. So let us discuss these forms one by one. First, if we take trigonometric form of Fourier series. Now we know if a signal xt equals to a sine omega t, it is a periodic signal, right? And a sine omega naught t or a cos omega naught t is a periodic signal. And if we have a signal which is sum of two or more than two sinusoidal signals, suppose sine omega naught t plus a1, a2 sine 2 omega naught t plus a3 cos omega naught t plus a4 cos 2 omega. If we have any signal like this, then this signal xt, it can be periodic. The sum of two or more than two periodic signals can be periodic only if their frequencies are integral multiple of fundamental frequency. That is, the ratio of their time periods is rational in nature. So if we look at that, omega naught, 2 omega naught, omega naught, 2 omega naught. So it means that it is fundamental frequency is omega naught. These frequencies are integral multiple of this, one times or two times, right? So automatically this signal will be a periodic signal. So continuing in that, if any periodic signal xt is given to us, if we can represent it as a sum of infinite series of sine and cosine signals, which themselves are periodic in nature and are having a frequency as integral multiple of fundamental frequency, then this signal xt will still remain periodic. So we are saying xt is a periodic, and we are representing this signal in terms of sine and cosine. That is, say a0 cos, say 0 omega 0 t, a1 cos omega naught t plus a2 cos 2 omega naught t. So it might be an infinite cosine terms plus b0 sine 0 omega naught t, b1 sine omega naught t, b2 sine 2 omega naught t plus so. So if we look at this, each individual function is periodic in nature because it is sine and cosine. Further, the sum of the combination of these signals is also periodic because their frequencies are integral multiples of fundamental frequency. And further, we know over one time period of, that is 0 to 2 pi, if we talk about the sinusoidal signal, then sine and cosine, sine n omega naught t and cos m omega naught t over one time period, this would be 0, right? So if sine and cosine over a one time period is 0, that means they are orthogonal functions. So it means if xt, I can represent it as a0, cos 0 becomes 1 plus sigma n equals to 1 to infinity an cos n omega naught t plus sigma n equals to 1 to infinity, because b, this becomes 0, so b0 into 0 0, this from where bn sin n omega. So what we are saying that any signal xt, periodic signal, can be represented as a combination of sinusoidal and cos signals which themselves are periodic and their frequencies are integral multiples of the fundamental frequency omega naught, and sine and cosine are set of orthogonal functions. So from the definition of Fourier series, this represents the trigonometric form of Fourier series. So we say xt's trigonometric form of Fourier series is this, where a0, an and bn are known as Fourier coefficients. Now a0 is a constant, so it indicates a DC component of the signal. A1 and B1, if we see, are having the frequency equal to fundamental frequency. So they are representing the magnitude of fundamental frequency component magnitude, and A2, A3 and so on, B2, B3 and so on, these all coefficients represents the harmonic component magnitude, right? So for any periodic signal xt over a one time period, its trigonometric form of Fourier series is given by this equation, that is, we can call it as equation number 1, and these are called as the Fourier coefficients, and they give us this type of information. So that is the first form of Fourier series, that is the trigonometric form of Fourier series. Now let us do the evaluation of trigonometric form of Fourier series. Evaluation means we are saying that we can represent it in form of this. Omega naught we know for the periodic signal already, so that is known. Only unknown thing is these Fourier coefficients. So if we can evaluate, or that means if we can find out the Fourier coefficients for a given signal, we can represent this into this form. That is, we can obtain a trigonometric form of Fourier series for xt, provided we know its time period and we are able to evaluate its Fourier coefficients. So now let us take the next article, that is the evaluation of Fourier coefficients. So what we are saying, for any periodic signal xt having a fundamental frequency omega naught, its trigonometric form of Fourier series is given as this. Now let us do the evaluation of this Fourier series, means evaluation of Fourier coefficients or finding the formula for Fourier coefficients. So first for A0, if we integrate the equation number 1 over one time period on both the sides, integrating equation 1 over one time period So that means we can integrate it over from t0 to t0 plus t. We can take t0 any constant, because we know from the periodic signals property if we start from any point, it will remain periodic for one if we consider it a time period, right? On both sides. So this equation becomes xt dt from t0 to t0 plus t Now we can interchange sigma and integral. So I can write it as this. Now we know if we solve this integrals, this is a constant. So this will become a0 into t with lower and upper limits plus now integral of a signal over one time period is 0, right? That we know. And same way integral over one time period for sine is also 0. So sigma of 0 plus 0 plus 0 from 1 to infinity will always remain 0. So this term, second and third term, will become 0, right? So if we further solve it, this becomes a0 times capital T, putting other upper and lower limits. So that implies a0 can be written as 1 by t integral t0 to t0 plus t xt d. That is right. So from using this equation, we can find out the Fourier coefficient a0, or we can say we can find out the DC component or in the periodic signal present. So that is a0. So that we already know that if you remember in the first year you have studied in basic course of electronics, that is to find out the average component or the DC component in a full wave rectifier or half wave rectifier. What do? You integrate that signal over one time. So it is the same formula. So for any periodic signal xt, we can find out the average or DC component present in it by using this coefficient a0. So that is the formula, right? So now next, let us do for an. So for evaluating an, we should remember some of the basic trigonometric formulas and their integrals. So let us just write that. That is, if I write that integral of t0 to t0 plus t for cos n omega naught t into cos m omega naught dt. Now you can solve this using the formula of cos AB formula and then solve it. What you will get that this will be equals to 0 if for m not equal to n. If this m is not equal to n, for all that this will come out to be 0. But if m is equal to n, this will become cos square n omega. Right? In that case, this integral answer will come out to be t by 2 for n equal. Same way, sin n omega naught t, sin m omega naught t dt over one time period using the same thing, it will be also 0 for m not equal to n and t by 2 for m equal to n. Right? And t0 to t0 plus t sin n omega naught t cos m omega naught t dt will always be 0. for all m and n, right? Because these two are orthogonal functions, so their integral over one time period, the product of these two will be 0. So these three basic formulas of integral that would be required for the evaluation of an and bn, right? So we should remember these formulas. You can show it, you can prove it. So let us do for an. Now the purpose of when we do this integrals, evaluation, derivation, the purpose is when we are want to get a0, we want that these two terms should become 0. So when we integrate that, simply without any thing, this because of cos and sine over one time period integral, this becomes 0. Now we want to evaluate an, we want this term and this term should become 0. So what we do, if we look at this, if we multiply this sine term with cos, this will become 0. This constant with only cos, that will also become 0 over one time. So that, based on that logic, if we multiply the equation number 1 with cos n omega naught t on both sides and integrate it over one time period, we can find out an. Let us see that. That says xt into cos m omega naught t dt over one time period equals to a0 cos m omega naught t dt plus, I can write it over here, sigma n equals to 1 to infinity t0 to t0 plus t. An can be taken outside, cos n omega naught t cos m omega naught t dt plus sigma this. Now if we look at this right hand side, this first term, that is this would become 0 over one time period, and this third term, this will also become 0 using this formula for all values of m and n, right? And this second term, if you look at this formula, from that we can say from 1 to infinity, if we keep on changing the values of n, for all different values of n when it is not equal to m, this will be 0. Only at one particular point when this n will become equal to m, this will give us t by 2. So it will be sigma 1 to infinity will give us 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus t by 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. And so ultimately what we will get is, on the left hand side, it will be xt cos m omega naught t dt t0 to t0 plus t equals to 0 plus an into t by 2 plus 0 using this form. So if we rearrange these terms, we can say an equals to 2 by t t0 to t0 plus t xt cos m omega naught t dt. Now because this is an and m is again equal to n, that is why we have get t by 2. So we can write here, instead of cos m omega naught t, as cos n omega dt. So right, so that is the formula for a. So we have evaluated a0 and we have evaluated a. So on the same line, if you multiply for bn, if you multiply this equation number 1 with sine m omega naught t, this will become 0 over one time period because it is only sine. This will cos into sine. This all terms will become 0. This will only give us p by 2 at m equal to. So on the same line, you will get the formula for Bn exactly similar to that of An. So if I rewrite all the three formulas, A0 will be this, An T0 to T0 plus T, sorry, this would be 1 by T times this, and this would be so A0 would be equal to 1 by T times this, and An would be equal to 2 by T times integral T0 to T0 plus T xt cos n omega naught T. And on the similar line of An, if you evaluate, we will get Bn equals to 2 by T0 plus T xt sin n omega naught T. So that is the three fundamental formulas for the evaluation of trigonometric form of Fourier series. So any periodic signal xt is given to us, having time period t on fundamental frequency omega naught. It can be represented as trigonometric form of Fourier series as given in equation 1. We can find out its Fourier coefficients using these three integrals. And then we can easily represent a periodic signal over one time period in a trigonometric form of Fourier series. Okay, so we will stop over here. In the next video, we will take up one question on trigonometric form of Fourier series, and we will move to the next form of Fourier series. Thank you.